So in sync as usual.
Always in sync.
All right, cheers.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
That's great wine. That's really good wine.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, guys? Thanks for listening.
Welcome back. Oh shit, I'm already making unnecessary noises.
So today, I think we're going to talk about work-life balance.
Work and play.
And just balancing things that we're not good at balancing.
I like that. We're not good at any of these things.
But we're learning. We're getting there.
Yeah, that's what I feel like our 20's is about, right?
Of course. And your 30's and basically until the day
Your
you
whole
die,
fucking life is
say.
just
trying to figure it out.
lessons. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get like a handle of it now, but then you kind of like progress as you get older.
Yeah.
You know,
and I feel
the
like
wisdom.
even when you're like 80 years old, you're still learning lessons and you're just continuously learning over and over again.
Who do you think you're going to be when you're 80? Or do you think you're going to live to be 80?
I think it would be cool to live till 80, but at the same time too, like if I just have a great life and I live until I'm 30, but I did everything I wanted to do, then, you know, can't complain.
Yeah.
So.
No, I feel like that's a good way to look at it, because we're not like promised time by any means, but
when my time comes, and that's all there is to it.
Can you see yourself being an old person?
I would be such a cool old person.
I feel like you would. I really
Such a
can't
cool
see
old
myself
person.
being old.
Really?
I hope to die young and beautiful, to be honest.
I mean, you are already pretty old, so.
You know what? We're 30 seconds into this fucking podcast. And you're already giving me shit.
Already roasting you for being old.
It's fine. It's fine. You'll be this age at some point.
In like 20 years
20.
from now.
Wow.
Anyways.
Wow.
So tonight we want to talk about just trying to figure out what we both struggle with balance. And I know
I feel like we're pretty good at balancing so far.
So far, yeah. Yeah. You're better at it than me for sure.
No. Wisdom, Steven, wisdom.
Yeah,
you get
true.
it as you grow.
That's true.
But no, I feel like we're conscious of balance, which a lot of people aren't. So
yeah, I guess we realize that we need to have balance on certain things. And at times when we both feel like we should be balancing more, we're capable of bringing in that balance. So what would be like the main things that you say you have a hard time balancing between like an inconsistent work schedule and the job that you've got and just being social and still enjoying your life?
Yeah, I mean, that's like a really like great way to put just, I think I have an inconsistent work schedule. Okay, let me back up a little bit. So maybe we should talk about what we do.
Yes, okay, let's do that.
Okay, so I am a photographer, part-time. For a long time, it was my dream to be a full-time photographer, but as I'm growing, I'm learning that I don't want that to be my full-time work, because like it just becomes your job. It's not like creative anymore, and you're just so focused on like having work all the time that I don't want to put that like creative pressure on my life to just like have full income from that. It would be great if I wouldn't have to like stress about it, but like I like to do so many different things that I'm like, it's really okay that I'm not a full-time photographer. So I've been doing that for like 7 years now. And so yeah, there's just been like learning balance in just my photography career of like what kind of things I like to shoot, and I'm sure we'll get into that eventually.
Of course.
But yeah,
You're
so
also my inspiration to start photography too. So.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Course.
That always makes me feel really good that people like actually want to start shooting after they've like worked with me, or they see I'm doing it and I'm like, fuck yeah, like anybody can do this, you know? If you want to do it, like why not enjoy like a hobby or your job or whatever. So anyway, I do that part-time, and then I work as a beverage cart girl.
Slinging drinks.
Slinging drinks to old white men.
At a golf course.
Yep. Yeah, and that's like been so much fun.
For you.
Honestly, it is so fun. I get to be outside and like steal old white men's money because they're like, go to college. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Pick the money.
Take it. Thank you so much.
Like, thank you. I'm 19 and poor. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And I've been doing that like once I graduated high school. So about 30 years now. It took you a second. Yeah. Okay. It took you a second.
Yeah, you've been doing that for quite some time. Crypt keeper over here.
Yeah, but that's been my only job since, other than photography, since I was 18. So pretty proud of that.
That's awesome.
And I think that like has something to show that I really do like consistency, like working the same job since you're 18 and being in your 20s.
Being in your 20s, yes.
Says like a lot, you know, to be able to hold a job like that. So anyway, that's like my work that I do.
How do you find the time to balance your social life and going out for drinks and like just having a good time with people and just like with both of those things? Yeah,
that's a great question because some weeks I'm more social than others. I think it really does depend on my mood for sure.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I need a lot more like introverted time. I like to be home. And I usually do that during the day when I'm home, like working or editing or whatever. But then like 6 o'clock rolls around and I'm like, a drink sounds great.
$5 old fashioned down the street.
Yeah, like why not? And we live in a downtown area, so Steven and I are walking distance from each other, and there's like some really great bars in the area. So I feel like living in St. Pete, you are set up to socialize.
Anything you want, you've got it if you're a social butterfly. It's
for sure.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, how do I balance that? I'm in the process of figuring that out, but I kind of have a rule of like 2 to 3 nights a week of going out.
That's pretty good.
That's still kind of a lot, especially since I'm not here for 2 days out of the week. I work back home in like Sarasota area, Monday, Tuesdays, and then I'm in St. Pete Wednesday through Sunday. If anyone was wondering my schedule, let me know if you want to get a drink on Saturday. Okay, so yeah, I've been trying to limit it to 2 to 3 nights of going out, and even that's a lot.
Yeah. It can be sometimes, especially it depends on what you're doing when you're going out too.
Right.
Like if you're going out and you're spending like 40, 50, 60 bucks on drinks and food, not coming home until 2 or 3 in the morning.
I mean, it's not like that every time, but it does sometimes end up like that, and you're like, damn, how'd I spend $100 tonight, you know?
Adds up real fast.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Why don't you explain what you do?
So, I'm a bartender. I've only bartended for like 5 or 6 months my entire life. I've always kind of wanted to be a bartender, not as like a career, but I just think it'd be a lot of fun to like sling drinks to people and just be able to have that skill so I can go travel and serve people drinks and just have a good time. So I do that. It's my main source of income. I also do photography on the side, and then I've got some other little side gigs that I do that pay me pretty decently. But
drug dealing. Just
kidding. And I totally have like a pretty hard time balancing my social life with my work and professional life, like the things I try to do on the side outside of like my job.
Yeah.
And my biggest struggle is going out on dates and spending money on girls.
Bitches.
Yeah. You said it, not me.
I mean, that is one of the tough things of being a male. You just end up spending so much money on women. It must be very difficult for drinks.
And yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like living in downtown, and like it's pretty easy to meet up with people, and like Tinder and Hinge and Bumble and all that stuff makes it so accessible. So it's like, if I'm bored and I've got nothing to do, go out and get a drink with someone, and then I get a decent amount of drinks, and then we hang out. The whole evening is spent with them, and then sometimes if it's good, they stay the next morning, and then they leave, and then it's like I had a whole entire night, I wouldn't say wasted, but just time that I spent not doing something that I could have been doing. And then I don't wake up early enough, which I usually like to wake up early, and then do that a couple times a week, and that adds up pretty fast.
Yeah, it sets you back. you know? I notice, like, even feeling foggy the next morning,
especially after drinking and not drinking enough water, for sure.
Yeah, like, you just don't even start your day as fast as you would normally. Like, sometimes, like, literally getting to work from home, I'm so, like, thankful that I get to do that at this point in my life. There's so many people that don't get to do that, and, like, my ass is dragging from the night before, and I don't start working until, like, 11 or 12, and then I, like, live in this guilt for, like, the rest of the day, and that makes me even less productive. So it's, like, just kind of balancing that, okay, I'm going to be home by, like, 11 or 12 tonight, especially during the week. Like, I feel like I try to keep it, like, to a minimum, because usually from, like, Wednesday through Thursday I stay home. I'm so
it's a great schedule.
Such a great person.
I'm good 2 days.
I was like trying to think about, I'm like, well, I go out probably Thursday or Friday. No, it really does change.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I think, like, having those, like, time boundaries, or even just going out, like, a Friday night and not Saturday night, you feel so, when you don't go out on a Saturday night, you feel so
great.
fucking great on Sunday.
Especially
You're like,
if you, like, wake
the
up
world
early.
is mine. Yeah, dude.
And it's like everyone else got done partying all weekend, and it's like if I wake up at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning and I'm at a coffee shop reading a book for like 2 or 3 hours, like nothing feels better than that.
Yeah, usually Sunday is like a national, like, hungover day.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna be hungover any time of the week, I feel like most people are hungover on Sunday.
Like, you have your fun on Friday, but Saturday night is like the ultimate, like, let's go out and, like, really get turned.
I know. What is that?
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, we still do it. We're still gonna do it.
We still do it.
But
I actually am not as hungover as I used to be, and I think we've talked about that a little bit.
I think the maturity level comes at some point because you realize that you need to drink water.
I need to start drinking water a lot earlier than most people, like 2 days before.
And then also, too, like, if you're eating a relatively healthy diet, or you're doing something like that, or you're working out, I feel like it helps a lot. So mixing all that together, if you're going to go out and you're going to have fun, like, just being responsible about the fun that you have when you go out.
Yeah. But then there's those nights that it's like 11 o'clock and someone hands you a shot, and then you're like, oh, fuck it. This is the night where I gotta have.
Yeah.
Been
like
there
when you say
many
you want
times.
one glass of wine, and then you get an entire glass of wine as your one glass.
Friends that do that to you are just the worst.
The worst. I don't know who would
The
do
worst
that.
type of influences. Oh my gosh. What else do we have to say about that?
I would say, like, what we're gonna do now to, like, start constructively trying to find a balance. To play off of that, like, giving people some kind of advice, or, like, just some kind of something that they can relate to.
Probably having someone to, like, hold them accountable, and I hate fucking saying that, because every time I've tried that, it kind of, like, has the reverse effect. So it's really just about wanting to not be a fuck up. Like, I think it just takes a certain amount of times or a certain amount of tries, and then one day you're just like, it clicks, and you're like, I value my time a lot more than what I've been doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, sometimes I'll have these phases of, like, being, like, kind of on track and, you know, not going out as much and, like, just doing well. And then I'm like, oh, haven't gone out and, like, been myself lately, so I should, or whatever, you know? Like, it's just about finding, like, a good medium, I think.
Absolutely.
And you're the only person that could tell yourself that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're my accountability partner and we're like, we're just gonna go out once a week, like, if I don't want to not go out, or if I want to go out more than once a week, I'm gonna go fucking do it, you know? So it's really just about being honest with yourself about how productive you want to be on Sunday morning, or how productive, or, like, how much clear thinking you want to have during the week. You know, that's what I feel like works for me, because, like, no amount of boundaries will work for me unless I really want to do those things, you know? And
I agree with that too, because it's like when I'm planning out my week ahead, which I usually like to do, I'm like, okay, I want to get this, and this done, but I know that I've only got this many days off or this much time off, And then like the weeks when I line up like 2 or 3 evenings where I'm like doing something, then I know that, okay, well, I'm sacrificing this day, I'm sacrificing the next morning, so that means I need to save this time for that. So when I start to add it up and I start to think about that more constructively and more consciously, and I decide to have self-discipline, I guess that's when that really helps me, because it's like, well, if I want to accomplish this, I can't go out 3 or 4 days a week.
Right.
Like if I want to save up this much money, I can't go out and spend $50 on a date tonight, or I can't do that. So it's just, it all would come down to just your own accountability with yourself, and just being honest with yourself of like what's more important, like going out and having fun or getting productive stuff in your life done and moving forward.
Yeah. Do you feel like we're looking at it right now. I keep like a written like planner. Do you feel like when you write down like your schedule for the week, you're more productive?
Absolutely, yeah. I think like writing everything down, like writing out your plan for the week, writing out like small goals, things you want to accomplish will always help tremendously. And like ever since I started doing that with my life, like I write down everything now. Like I write down like, this is what I want to accomplish this week, this is what I accomplished last week. I've even got like a whiteboard that my roommate and I share, and we write down like we went to the gym this many times this week, we read this many pages each day. So like writing, the more stuff you can write down and the more you can keep up with that, I feel like the better your life is just in general. So like if you've got a planner, if you've got a notebook, if you've got anything like that, like it's always just going to help. Even if it's a little bit, like it's going to help more than if you weren't doing that.
Yeah. And I feel like the satisfaction of checking something off. My sister and I talk about that sometimes. Like even just writing simple things down, like cleaning my room. Like I'll write that down to just kind of organize my time for the day, and like even just like 30 minute like sections of time of what I should be doing at home. Because like say I have 3 hours at home until I have somewhere to be. If I just sit there with that time, I'm not going to get done as much as if I just wake up in the morning and I'm like, I want to do yoga, I want to clean my kitchen, and I need to do like a load of laundry. Yeah. So if I like look at that and in my brain, I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, I will do that instead of just thinking about it and not like putting it in order. You know what I mean? Like the action of writing something down. And I don't necessarily feel like phone apps give you that same type of like memory contact. Like
it's like the same thing of like reading a Kindle book versus reading an actual book. Like
exactly. Like the action of writing down the shit you gotta do is so different than just being like, okay, I'm gonna write this in my notes on my phone. Like that doesn't work for me. Yeah. So definitely think that's one thing that can help balance your life, is just like making a habit every day to be like, even if it's 2 things, like sometimes I write down a lot of shit that I don't get done and I feel guilty for it. And it's like, no, I just overworked myself, or I overplanned for the day. So just write down 3 main things you want to accomplish for the day, and that like, that'll help you, you know? Yeah. So I think we have all the answers, to be honest. It's just about committing to them and like realizing when it's a good time to be social and when it's not. Like scheduling social time, like Thursday through Saturday are usually the days that I'm like a pretty social person. And then Sunday through Wednesday, I'm like either working or just having time to myself. And I think that is a good balance, to be honest. Yeah, definitely. That works for me. So what works for me might not be working for you. Yeah, you know?
Pull it off well from an outside perspective. So
thank you. Yeah. I think it's just like also scheduling time to be social, or scheduling times to go out or to go on dates and stuff like that. Because it's not like saying like, no, you shouldn't do that at all this week. It's just about putting it in order so it doesn't overwhelm like your day.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, I'm so glad we figured that out tonight.
Most definitely.
But no, I don't know. Like, just once you start to like consciously think about these things, you're like, oh, I know what I need to do. It's just about doing it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like if you want to lose weight, like just eat less. And it's just like, if you don't eat less, you can't be surprised, like, why am I not losing weight? It's the same thing. It's just like, I know like I'm going to have a better balance in my life and I'm going to get more done if I go out less. Same thing. It's just having self-discipline. And having the self-discipline is not fun sometimes at all, but, you know,
right.
it makes you feel good in the long run.
Do you think sometimes I feel like I set, kind of like over planning the day, I set these big goals when, like, say with weight, like you want to lose 50 pounds. What if you just started with like 15 pounds? You know what I mean? Sometimes we kind of jump to bigger conclusions or like bigger goals than like the attainable things that we can do like right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you do that? You kind of like put
that's like
bigger goals in front?
I would say that's like my life story right now of like part of the reason why I'm not where I want to be is because I've always just had like just these ridiculously large like 10, 20, 30-year goals, and instead of focusing on what's in front of me, I've just focused on that. And it's like to make $100,000, you have to make $1,000 first. So if you're not even focused on making that small goal first, how can you be focused on the big goal?
Right. It's like the day-to-day stuff that needs to get done before.
Yeah. And I think you should definitely have like big goals that you like look forward to, like know where you want to go. Like like I know where I want to be in 20 years from now for sure. But like at the same time though, it's like I just need to focus on 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and just worry about that. Yeah,
definitely like more present time. I think when I start to think about who I want to be in 5 years, it's almost overwhelming, you know, because I want to just be in such a different place than I am now. And it's really great to visit those goals like periodically, I think. But I don't think that should be something that is like, I need to be this now. Like you have to break down those ideas of like how to get to that 5-year goal, you know? Absolutely. And I think that starts with like your day-to-day habits for sure. Yeah.
It's like the compound effect, like every little action that you take, like back to the example of like weight loss, it's like one cheeseburger you're not going to notice in one day, but one cheeseburger every single day for a year, you're going to notice that.
It's like that habit of just eating those.
Yeah.
This isn't really the same thing, but I used to drink soda like periodically.
Good old soda.
But like after I stopped, I didn't miss it anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe that was just like lucky for me because I don't really like sweet things anyway. I don't like sweet anything, like people, food.
Sweet people.
Nothing.
Stay away.
Actually, no, not like I feel like I'm a pretty nice person, but I think if you're overly trying, I'm like, what's wrong with you?
If you're emotional or anything, just keep your emotions away from us.
Yeah, just like back away. That's not productive.
Yeah.
You're crying. Stop it. I don't even wait. What were you even talking about before that?
Balance.
Balance.
We pretty much knocked that out of the park.
Key balance.
Yeah. But
what is one goal of yours for this year? Work related. Let's do that.
Related, like job related or like?
Yeah, because we've been talking about work, so.
I feel like I've been killing it at work lately, and like my job has like had me work on a whole bunch of like special events and like private things, and they're having me do a lot of like cool stuff that not a lot of other people get to do.
Talk about it. What are you doing tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning I'm going on TV for the second time in like 2 or 3 weeks for my job.
Meanwhile, let me just tune in. He's only been at this job for like what? 5 months? Yeah. And he's like already the star on TV.
Yeah, definitely. It feels good. And I feel like, I don't know, being in a job where I get to be social and like just, you know, have a good time with people, that's where my personality comes out the most, and just being able to talk. There's nothing else that I enjoy more than talking, so.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yep, that's why we're here.
It's so true, though, because, like, I absolutely, like, love, like, talking to people or being sarcastic with people at work. Whatever it is, like, I think I do have to have, like, human connection for some part of my job. And, like, doing, you know, the golf course thing, like bartending 2 days a week is perfect for me because it's like I get it all done within like 2 days and I've had my fill and I get to be outside and it's like for most of the year beautiful in Florida and I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Somehow you still aren't tan.
you know what? It's fucking March. And that is my excuse. I'm half Irish, okay?
Okay. Same.
Well, just wait. In a few weeks, I'm going to bypass you.
You'll pass me up, I'm sure.
I'm mediocre right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a
maybe like 2
6.
or 3 days in the sun. I'm sure you'll be.
Yes, because I burn the first day, and then I'm like very dark.
Mm-hmm.
You're not that dark either right now.
No, I know. I've been losing my color. I'm trying to save my skin.
I was looking at the photos we took last, what was it, June?
Mm-hmm.
You were very tan.
Yeah, I was outside.
You were like brown.
Every single day, like probably 5 or 6 days a week, laying outside, because that was like my time to like read books and like listening to like audiobooks and podcasts.
You're on it.
And I was on that for like 4, 5, 6 months, just nonstop outside, and I never wore sunscreen.
Did you notice? So when did that start?
That
like April of last year?
That started right before music festival. And
music festival season.
The end of May, I was like, I have to be super tan for this festival because like, I just want to be tan for this festival. And
gotta look good.
After that, I was like, wow, I'm just gonna keep on laying outside because like I enjoy it because like it's my me time.
And it's vitamin D. You gotta get that vitamin D.
I always feel better when I'm laying outside. Like I don't know how people that live up north go like months without sunshine. Couldn't do it. Could not do it.
Can't do it. Okay, so anyway, what we were talking about with your job.
With my job.
Yeah.
It's great. They are really giving me a lot of opportunities to just like do my thing and just like be involved in like special events. And I'm like going on TV, and they're like making me the person that like is continuously going to be going on TV.
The star.
So that's really cool.
That Steven always wanted to be.
And the fact that we just started a podcast too at the same time. That
Dude,
I'm about to start going on TV, so I'm going to be more comfortable, which is cool.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's just it's cool. Like I thoroughly enjoy my job. I enjoy going into work, slinging drinks for people. I make great money. I live in a downtown area, which is super nice. I have enough money to go
Steven's
out and do
life is amazing.
It's amazing. But I'm ready for the next level of growth.
The next chapter. I feel like if you're listening to this right now, thank you, because this is episode 1 and you're already here. So
yes.
I think to kind of wrap it up, if anyone has habits or things that help them be balanced in life, also like older generations, if you're a fucking baby boomer, don't comment. But like, if anyone has just like advice for this, I always love like hearing what works for other people. So I hope that something we talked about like works.
Yeah.
Like I think the planner thing, like scheduling, writing things down is like the biggest thing that helps.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And even if you've got anything that you struggle with like balance, or some way that you find a way to balance, like leave us a comment, send us a message or something, and we would just love to hear all about that.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
And that's the end.